have just entered the casual conversations of the Uneducated Education Talk Show. I'm your host, Jay. We'll talk about lots of things, so join the conversation.
Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the Uneducated Education Talk Show. I'm your host, Jay. Today's small talk is going to be about self-care. Now, if you search YouTube for self-care, you will literally find hundreds of videos. Most of them centering on pampering, so like getting your hair done, getting your nails done, massages, things like that. What I want to talk about goes just a little bit deeper. Self-care can be something you do daily, annually, and anything in between. Okay, so let's break it down. Self-care is defined as the practice of taking action to preserve or improve one's health. The practice of. So what is practice? Practice is the application or use of an idea. Application is the action of putting something into operation. And of course, if something is in operation, it's working. Are you getting the point? So what we really need to do is to stop, take a second, and think about what we really need. What is going to be most busy? So what we need to do is stop, take a minute, and figure out what it is we really need for our health and our peace of mind. I use myself for an example. So I recorded my last episode on the but there were a lot of decisions that went into allowing myself to take that large of a gap between recording. I had surgery on the 25th of June. Now I had a plan. I was prepared. I was going to have my next episode up and recorded by the 9th of July. However, my body had other plans. We were not on the same page. Okay. So everything was pretty much still shut down. And so since I'm stuck at home, I'm like, I might as well do some of those projects I've been putting off for a long time. It makes sense, right? Like I've heard a lot of people are doing that. Might as well. You spend a lot of time here. You want to make it, improve it, make it nice and how you want it. So one project turned into two projects. And then two projects turned into three projects. And then you get the point. Now, with all that going on, I really didn't want to record in the midst of all the mess and the dust and the clutter. That was just its own problem. So I figured I'm not going to record now. But then that was starting to be stressful. But I had to tell myself to chill. Just chill. Because it's not what you want to do, the way you want to do it, but it's still progress. It's still progress because it's something you've been wanting to do. Okay, so that's something else. So once that was all done, and I kind of use done lightly because it's not really done yet, but it's close enough. But before I started back to record, I needed a break from that. And you think, well, you had a break, but all that stuff that I was doing while I wasn't recording was still stressful.
I shared all that to say this.
I was letting all that stress me out. But I had to stop and think about what was best for me, what was best for my peace of mind and for my health. Could I have driven through the pain and recorded on the 9th of July? I certainly could have. Could I have picked a different area in the house to record? Yep. But that wasn't what was best for me. I needed the break and I missed it. I feel rejuvenated now. But sometimes some obligations you just can't push to the back burner. And when you have things like that, you just have to find other forms and ways to implement your self-care. Because while I was able to take a break from recording, I still had to work. We still got bills to pay. But anyway, let's talk about what some forms of self-care can be for you. Are you the go-to person, somebody that everyone always knows they can depend on? Let's ask, because she or he will always get it done. They'll always say yes. Maybe you need to say no. No is a complete sentence and is most definitely good for your health. Some of you have thousands of hours of sick leave or vacation time, but never take a day off. You're always that person present at work while everyone else is enjoying time off with the family. Take a day. It's okay. Even if you don't have anything to do. Don't think I can't take a day off because I don't have plans, or I'm not going out of town, or I'm not taking a trip. You don't need any of those things to take time off for yourself. You know what else self-care is? Are you somebody that maybe has a gluten allergy or is lactose intolerant, but is always saying how much they love cheese and they love bread, even at the cost of being doubled over in pain because your stomach cramping, because you eating food you ain't got no business eating? That is not taking care of yourself. Now, we're also in the Christmas season, and that is a beautiful thing. But some of y'all need to stop buying Christmas gifts. Why don't you try getting the family to do regifting this year? You know you got a bunch of stuff around the house that's nice. Probably still got the tags on. You ain't never used, never worn, never tried on, nothing. Somebody else would love that. Do a Secret Santa. Only buy one person a gift and put a limit on it. Or do homemade or thoughtful gifts. That is not an idea just for kids. Some of the best gifts from adults can be those homemade or thoughtful items. Now, all of this may sound like it's not for you, but it's for sure gonna sound good. Come January and you get that first credit card statement, you'll appreciate what I'm saying then. Or better yet, when you don't have to figure out how to keep the electric on because you didn't take the bill money to buy Christmas gifts. There are so many major forms of self-care. But the last one that I want to touch on today is forgiveness and healing. Some of you are physically hurting yourselves because you can't let go, because you can't move on. You're working yourself right into a stroke or a heart attack, and you don't even realize it. And at the very least, you're pushing people away because you're bitter. So I guess what I'm really saying is choose you. That's it. Choose you. Self-care. Take care of yourself. Stop letting what he, she, her, them, they, all of them, what they did to you, just let it go. And maybe you need to forgive yourself. And if you decide to go get your nails done or your hair done, or maybe even get a massage with that time that you saved because you told someone no, then good for you. If you take your family on vacation this year because you didn't spend up all your money on Christmas gifts, then good for you. And baby, if you finally lost 10, 15, 20 pounds because you stopped eating all that stuff that you ain't had no business eating in the first place, good for you. Some forms of self-care may not feel good in the moment, but they are good for you. If you remember that self-care is the practice, application, and operation of an idea, you're off to a good start. Make it a habit. Comment below and let me know what some of your forms of self-care are. Or maybe you want to implement something that I talked about today on this episode. Well, there you have it. The takeaways for the show are always the same. Don't take anything personal. There's no need. We're not always going to agree. We're not going to always have the same views and opinions. At UE, when you talk, we listen. And that is, we try to understand, we try to teach, we try to accept, love, and consider one another. That's what the show is all about. Get in the conversation and let me know what you want to talk about next. Please like the episode and subscribe. Thanks for joining, and I'll see you on the next episode of the Uneducated Education Talk Show. Doves and Hearts.